The 12 men who walked on the moon. 1. Neil Armstrong. Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. He was commander of the Apollo 11 mission. Armstrong was more proud of landing the module. He later said,
"Pilots take no special joy in walking. Pilots like flying. Pilots generally take pride in a good landing, not in getting out of the vehicle."
Neil Armstrong died in 2012 at age 82. 2. Buzz Aldrin. Aldrin accompanied Armstrong on the first moon landing. He'd taken a home communion kit with him. He took communion on the moon, but didn't broadcast it. He's 94 years old and continues to promote space exploration. 3. Charles Pete Conrad. Conrad was commander of the Apollo 12 mission. It was launched during a lightning storm. This storm briefly knocked out the command module's power after liftoff. When Conrad stepped onto the moon, he said,
"Whoopee, man, that may have been a small one for Neil, but that's a long one for me."
Pete Conrad died in a motorcycle accident in 1999, aged 69. 4. Alan Bean. Bean accompanied Conrad on Apollo 12. He was the lunar module pilot. Bean was also commander of the Skylab Mission 2 in 1973. Altogether, he logged 1,671 hours and 45 minutes in space. Alan Bean died in 2018 at the age of 86. 5. Alan Shepard. In 1961, Shepard was the first American to go to space. He later served as commander of the Apollo 14 mission. Shepard was responsible for the most accurate lunar landing ever. He spent 9 hours and 17 minutes on the moon. Alan Shepard died in 1998 at the age of 74. 6. Ed Mitchell. Mitchell flew on Apollo 14 as lunar module pilot. He retired in 1972 and founded the Institute of Noetic Sciences. It explores psychic and paranormal events. Mitchell gained some notoriety for his views on UFOs. He died in 2016, aged 85. It was the eve of the 45th anniversary of his lunar landing. 7. David Scott. Scott went to the moon on Apollo 15. He landed it on the lunar surface on July 30, 1971. It was the first mission to land near mountains. Scott and Jim Irwin spent 18 hours exploring the lunar landscape. They were the first to ride a lunar roving vehicle. David Scott is 92 years old. 8. James Irwin. Irwin developed symptoms of heart trouble on the moon. His heart rhythm was normal by the time Apollo 15 returned, but he had a heart attack a few months later. Irwin retired from NASA in 1972. He founded the High Flight Foundation to spread the gospel. He organized expeditions to search for Noah's Ark. James Irwin died of a heart attack in 1991, aged 61. 9. John Young. Young is the longest-serving astronaut in NASA history. He made his first space flight in 1965 aboard Gemini 3. He orbited the moon on the Apollo 10 mission. He was commander of the Apollo 16 mission. Young was also commander of the first space shuttle flight in 1981. He died in 2018 at the age of 87. 10. Charles Duke. Duke went to the moon on the Apollo 16 mission in 1972. He retired from NASA in 1975. He founded Duke Investments and also became a lay minister. Duke has worked as a minister with prison inmates. Charles Duke is 88 years old. 11. Jack Schmitt. Schmitt was the second civilian to go to space after Neil Armstrong. He was a geologist who went to the moon on Apollo 17. Schmitt and Gene Cernan spent 3 days on the lunar surface. This record hasn't been broken. Schmitt and Cernan gathered 250 pounds of lunar material. Jack Schmitt is 89. 12. Gene Cernan. Cernan was commander of Apollo 17. No one knew it would be the last Apollo mission, as Cernan boarded the lunar module on December 13, 1972. He said,
"As we leave the moon at Taurus Littrow, we leave as we came, and God willing, as we shall return, with peace and hope for all mankind. Godspeed the crew of Apollo 17.
Gene Cernan died in 2017, aged 82.